Hello, everybody. This live stream has officially commenced. Where the fuck do I begin? Like, really, where do I go? Okay, so, all right, let's get this presented here. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin. That's where I don't begin. Okay, why the hell did it go here? Like, why in the rape victim did it go here? This is really pissing me off. Okay, there it is. All right, guys. It is currently 9:13 Eastern Standard Time p.m. Kamala Harris sits at 99 electoral votes on the dot. She carries the state of New York in its 28 electoral votes, New Jersey in its 14, Delaware in its 3, Maryland in its 10, Connecticut in its 7, Rhode Island in its 4, Massachusetts in its 11, Vermont in its 3, Illinois in its 19, and Donald Trump sits at 137 currently, which just because he's leading in the Electoral College does not mean he's leading at all, and in fact, quite the contrary is happening. But he has been declared officially the victor in the states of South Carolina with its 9 electoral votes, Florida, formerly known as a swing state. I did not expect this to be close at all. And this result is not shocking to me whatsoever. Donald Trump flips Miami-Dade County by about 12%, and some of these other counties that have previously in the latter election voted for President Joe Biden. I did not expect, however, Duval County going for Donald Trump, but that's what it's looking at right now. Moving on, Alabama with its 9 electoral votes, Mississippi with its 6 electoral votes, Louisiana with its 8 electoral votes, Arkansas with its 6 electoral votes, just like Mississippi, Oklahoma with its 7 electoral votes, Texas with its massive 40 electoral votes. Trump has been declared the winner in that state. All these so far, not surprising. This is exactly how I anticipated it to go. Tennessee, additionally, he gets another 11 electoral votes from this state. Kentucky with its 8 electoral votes. Again, none of these states are surprising. Indiana with its 11 electoral votes. Ohio, my home state, unfortunately, with its 17 electoral votes, has been Donald Trump declared the winner in. West Virginia, also not surprising, currently leading with 70% of the total vote total with its 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump wins there. Unfortunately, again. So Donald Trump wins 2 of the 5 electoral votes in the state of Nebraska. If you don't know already, Nebraska and Maine both split their electoral college votes through congressional districts, despite every other state voting. For example, if Colorado happens to go for Kamala, she would get all 10 electoral votes. But this splits it up by congressional district, and whoever wins that congressional district gets 1 electoral votes, with the state overall compiling of 5 electoral votes. But Donald Trump has won there. South Dakota and North Dakota, respectively, with its 3 electoral votes, and together 6 electoral votes, and Wyoming, also with its 3 electoral votes, have gone for Donald Trump. So this election's far from over. Very far from over, especially in these key battleground states where the election is. The rest of the states, they didn't have an election, okay? They did not. We already knew how they were going to play out. And some of these other states are very early. I mean, for example, Missouri is going to go for Donald Trump. That is just indefensible and inevitable at this point, even though Kamala Harris is still leading, because there's only 15.4% of the expected vote in, which is nothing. But Donald Trump's probably going to win the state by around 20 percentage points. But here are the states that matter. All these states, the swing state breakdown vote, which include the states. I don't know why Florida's a part of the swing states. It should not be a swing state. It is not a swing state at all. So disregard that completely. Florida's not a swing state. I don't know why the hell the Associated Press decided to put them as a swing state because they are not. I'd argue that Virginia is even more competitive than Florida. I'd argue that Texas may even be more competitive and is more competitive as of now. Donald Trump has won Texas by a smaller margin than he has won Florida at this point in time. But anyways, shifting to that point, the state of Georgia with its 16 critical and vital electoral votes is a very top-notch state in this election. The state of North Carolina, oh, by the way, Georgia, I forgot, narrowly voted for Biden by 0.2% 4 years ago in the 2020 election. North Carolina voted for Donald Trump in the last election, but is dubbed to be competitive in this election. It is looking like Donald Trump is leading, however, in this state. Pennsylvania, whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the election, with only 19 of the tallied votes have been counted so far. This election is not in the bag for anybody. In fact, I would unfortunately say that it is leaning towards Donald Trump. I don't understand how this election is remotely close, but it is, and I'll get to that hopefully in a little bit later. The state of Michigan is also a key indicator on who will win the election. It voted for Donald Trump like Pennsylvania did in 2016, but both of these states flipped back blue, and President Biden kind of regained those key blue wall states. Next up is Wisconsin, has a massive 0.5% of the vote counted so far. This is also a very, very notable swing state in this election. Next up is the state of Arizona with its 11 electoral votes, and the state of Nevada with its 6 electoral votes. So there are a total of 6 swing states that will decide the election. You can totally disregard the other 44 states in the country. Completely disregard every single one of those. But yeah, it's going to come down to the wire in these 6 states. President Biden won 5 of them 4 years ago, with the only exception where Biden fell short, where Donald Trump triumphed in, was the state of North Carolina. Kamala Harris is hoping, and I am hoping along with her, to help flip the state. Right now, it's not looking like we're going to do so, especially since these areas right here voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but they're looking like they're going for Donald Trump this time. But yeah, this isn't too much of a surprise. I figured that Donald Trump would win North Carolina, but the votes have not been called yet. I mean, there's only not even half of the vote has been counted yet. So we don't know. And we just got breaking news that Kamala Harris has taken the lead in Iowa. Again, Iowa's going to go for Donald Trump. That's just going to happen. It's indisputable. The votes are not there for Kamala Harris, unfortunately, even though that golden indicator poll had her up by 3%, 47 to 44% in that poll, which has accurately predicted the winners in many of the previous elections. I'm telling you right now, it's wrong this time. It's unfortunate, but it is wrong. Trump is going to win Iowa by at least 9 or 10%, and it's so disheartening. Same thing with Ohio, but I knew I'm numb to it at this point. I'm immune to it. And let's see how it's going so far. So Kamala Harris currently is in the lead in Portage County. Of course, only 27% of the votes counted there, and 56% of the votes counted in Mahoning County so far. So it's looking like she's just going to carry Biden's margin of victory in the state. Now let's look up to the Senate results. This is scary. This is actually scary, in Ohio at least. In Ohio, it's scary. I don't know how to call this. I don't know if to say if this is surprising, if this is demoralizing, if this is appalling, if it's abhorrent, if it's all of the above, because that's exactly what it is. But Bernie Moreno, the guy who literally pocketed and stole his employees' overtime fees, overtime wages that they have worked for and earned when he was president of a car dealership company in the city of Cleveland. He stole their overtime fees because for them working overtime. And when he was sued for it several times, which there is ongoing lawsuits as we speak currently against this corrupt, shady, quote unquote, businessman, he shredded up the document evidence of the supposed crimes that he committed. And Sherrod Brown, I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He is the most loyal senator to his state of any state in the country. And we're about to lose him. We're about to lose our Senator Sherrod Brown. Senator Sherrod Brown, I've done my research on many senators. Democrat, Republican, I try to go with an open lens and open view. Senator Sherrod Brown is by far the best senator, the best sitting senator in the country right now. And Ohio's about to oust him simply because they fall victim to the attack ads that he has ran about transgender surgeries and everything. All this, it's literally degrading people. You know, these ads like Bernie Moreno saying, "Oh, Sherrod Brown's for they, them, not us." They, them is a part of us. Like pointing the blame at somebody and pointing fingers at somebody and trying to isolate them and exile them from a society. That shouldn't be a senator. I mean, how can you guys support this guy when he goes after a particular group of people carrying that same norm that Donald Trump has established, that it's okay to demean people and belittle people because of their identity, because of their race, because of their gender, because of their looks or their appearance, or if they speak out against something or they speak out in support of something. Donald Trump has regularized this, and this is a typified behavior of the MAGA movement and what it has caused. And unfortunately, whatever the fuck you call this shit, this is people voting against their best interests at its finest. Right here, this is what it's called. Bernie Moreno winning by 2 points against a Democratic incumbent who has served Ohio for his entire career. He's, I don't know what saved the auto industry. He's helped cap the cost of insulin. He fought bad trade deals vehemently and steadfastly. He has fought against sending our jobs over to China. He has voted for the CHIPS Act, which invested in semiconductor production back in Ohio, and I believe in Franklin County, the largest plant in the world is being built because of Sherrod Brown's work. In the world is being built in Franklin County, Ohio, creating I think it's like 20,000 jobs in the process. He stood for coal miners, people, and particularly in this Appalachia area. And in my home county of Crawford County, Sherrod Brown sponsored a bill and got a bill passed that provided a $1.9 million investment for our airport. Yes, that's right. A county that, if you don't know Crawford County, it is a very how do you say it? Blissfully Republican county that will vote Republican regardless. They don't even know who the ballot. It could be Adolf Hitler, but he has an R next to his name, so they're going to vote for him. And Sherrod Brown knows that. Sherrod Brown knows that Crawford County is Republican, but nonetheless, he goes out of his way to show up in support of communities all across the Ohio, even in the darkest or the deepest red, blood red corners of the state, like my county of Crawford County. He's providing investments for us, for rural communities, to help uplift us and help reestablish a renaissance in some of these abandoned communities that have been abandoned by many politicians, both Democrat and Republican. But Sherrod Brown's a truly authentic person, authentic politician for damn sure. I met him just a couple of days ago, actually, at a rally, and he's the person I've seen all along. He's the genuine, generous, compassionate, caring. He has grit. He has integrity. He has dignity. And I just can't picture him losing, but he's going to lose. He's going to lose. He's the loser right now. I am projecting this. They're gonna drag it out and say it, but Bernie he's gonna win this election, and I'm gonna have so much trouble processing that for the future. And it's so I don't know how to explain it. It's heart wrenching to see that. Anyways, on a positive note, by the way, we have Dan Osborne, a Democrat or independent, excuse me, leading in the state of Nebraska. This was I was kind of interested in seeing this. This might make up for it, hopefully. It's not going to make up for it. Why did I just say that? It's not going to make up for the best senator in the country being voted out. It's not going to help. It's not going to make up for it. This is not any compensation that's acceptable. But this is still a good note that an independent candidate can kick out Republican Deb Fischer. If that's the case, as of now, I say Deb Fischer probably has the advantage, the clear advantage. But she's down by 10 points right now, so that's a good sign. Wisconsin, Eric Holt is, well, there's only 8% of the vote in, so that don't count. And Tammy Baldwin's leading in Vernon County, which voted for Donald Trump. So that may be a very auspicious sign towards the Baldwin campaign. Let's go back to the presidency. Okay, so the exact same. Minnesota is not going for Trump, so don't get your hopes up, you deplorables. But yeah, Trump or Hillary Clinton really, when she said deplorables, she should have went all in, because deplorables is an understatement. It really is. It's these guys who support Donald Trump. They have like the opposite ration of reality. They're so warped into this disillusion, and charade of nonsense, just complete nonsense, and they get all sucked up and engrossed in it. They drink it all up. All the ads that they see, like in Ohio, for instance, all the ads saying that Sherrod Brown's this radical and everything. Sherrod Brown's one of the most, what's the word? He's the most compromising senator in the United States Senate. He signed many bipartisan bills to crack down on fentanyl that was signed by Donald Trump. In the state of Ohio, the senator of Sherrod Brown. And there's truly there has never been a senator like Sherrod Brown. You can compare him to Bob Casey and all this other stuff, Tammy Baldwin and stuff. Sherrod Brown is so prominent and is just so astonishingly a decent person, a decent politician who actually cares about the people. He don't care about Democrat or Republican like a lot of politicians do. I'll admit, a lot of politicians do, but Sherrod Brown doesn't. And you can just tell that when he speaks, his entire demeanor, you can just tell that he really does genuinely care about improving and bettering the lives of Ohioans and across the board Americans, for everyone, everyone, not just the people, the base, the MAGA base, like the alternative candidates do. Trump, how is Trump trying to appeal to these voters that he lost the first time? He's not trying to appeal to them. He's saying, for God's sakes, that their vote was illegitimate. Like, how can people vote for him on that fact alone? How can people vote for him on the fact that he ordered a slate of fake electors in 7 states across the country to try and switch the votes in those states, which all voted for Biden, for him to win, and to him to illicitly grasp and clinch on to power and remain the dictator of the people? I just don't understand that. I mean, for God's sakes, he went to Detroit and said, if Kamala's elected, your entire country will be like Detroit. How can people vote for him? He's trash talking his own fucking people, his own people that he wants to deceive them and to getting their vote. He's attacking them. He's attacking Jewish people. He's saying that you have mental problems if you're a woman or you're black and you even consider voting for Kamala Harris. He says that you have mental problems and you need to have your head examined. This guy needs to have his head examined. I don't even know if he has, like, I don't know, 75% of his brain left. It'd be a shock if. No wonder he hasn't released his medical records either. What do you guys think about that? I'm curious what the Trumpers how the Trumpers are going to try and somehow warrant that and justify that. That the fact that this guy is the oldest presidential candidate in American history, when they talked about Biden saying he's has dementia, he needs to step down, he's lost his grip on reality, he can't form a coherent sentence, and all this other bullshit. But they don't say nothing about Donald Trump, who is now the oldest presidential candidate in American history, older than when Biden ran in 2020. And he won't even release his medical records. Biden released his medical records in 2020, and it showed that he was fit to serve the presidency. Kamala Harris released her medical records because we don't have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide. Like, really, what else? What other reason would there be to not release your medical records unless there was something fucking shady and very crooked up? You don't just refuse to release your medical records when there's not something going on. And regardless of who you support and, whether Democrat or Republican, you can admit that. If you are a diligent and competent person who has just at least some wisdom. I mean, you don't even have to be smart not to vote for Donald Trump. You just have to be not completely obtuse to not vote for him and not support him. Completely obtuse. If you are not completely and entirely wholly obtuse, then you're voting for Kamala Harris. That's how it works. That's why my mom, a 2-time Trump voter in Ohio, cast her vote for Kamala Harris. That's why Pop, that's why I call him my step-great-grandfather, lifelong Republican, staunch conservative, raised by a conservative family in Southern Virginia, and he moved to Ohio to obviously marry my great-grandmother. He voted for Kamala Harris today. I almost shit my pants when he said that he voted for Kamala Harris today. I could not believe this. Oh, and we have Wisconsin in the Democratic category. Woo-hoo! But let's not get complacent. She's going to. How can she not win the election? How can she not? Like, really, how can she not? Like, every single Republican, real Republican, like actual Republican with Republican values, with, pro-Constitution and pro-family values and anti-segregation, anti-establishment, anything, anti-fascist, pro-union, blue collar, the former base of the Republican Party. These people who deem themselves as patriotic. If you are a real conservative with real conservative values, you have casted your vote for Kamala Harris in this election. You have. Or else you're not a conservative. You're not a conservative. You are an extremist. You that's what you are. And people say, "Oh, I'm crazy." That's what it is. I mean, even my dad can see it, dude. My dad hasn't voted in a presidential election since 1996. And when he says something about this, when he says that, "Oh, it's kind of weird, the obsession with Donald Trump that these supporters have," then you know damn sure that this is a very weird phenomenon with these supporters and the candidate himself. When my dad even starts to lean into politics, it's not good when you have my dad lean into politics. It's not pretty when my dad gets involved in politics. So, hold on, my mom's texting me. She's probably asking who won. I'm like, I don't know yet. The results haven't. Yep, my mom just put Ohio went for Trump. Thumbs down emoji. Yeah, I told her it was going to go for Trump. That's not surprising. But is he winning it by like fucking 55%? Dude, this like, it's so stupid. People are so freaking dumb. Like, they're so, I don't know, inane people, you know. Like, very cretinous people. Meaning foolish and stupid. Not smart people, to say the least. Say the least. I saw this bitch at my school today. She's in my classroom. She's talking about, oh, Trump has a 67% chance of winning the election. I don't know where she got that from, by the way. He doesn't have a 67% chance of winning the election. I actually had respect for this girl. Her name's Brooklyn Ann Coolman or whatever. Yo, I actually legitimately thought I could be friends with this girl. But then she started talking about politics and everything. And I told her, because that group of them asked me who I supported. And I said Kamala, 100% Kamala. She started to judge me. She started to go after, abortion's murder. And they're killing babies. They're killing babies. I told her, well, like 98% of abortions are performed within the first like 12 weeks when like not even the full heart is developed and their brain is not even developed. They cannot survive outside of the uterus. They cannot survive on their own without their keeper, or is what they call it. That's not a living being when you cannot support, when you cannot survive outside of your home. And you don't even have a fucking brain. Like these people, the people who are pro-life or quote unquote pro-life, and people like Brooke Ann, who lost my respect, by the way. She's completely lost my respect. I actually decently liked this girl. Completely lost it. Like everything regarding, you know, my approval of her. It's completely out the window. It's just dwindled. People are so reversed. They have such a reversed mindset. They believe, oh, and then this girl's so weird. She has like a beard. This girl has a beard and she supports Trump naturally. But that's not the point. She's just this weird bitch. She reminds me of like rat shit. Like rat shit. She just reminds me. Her hair is all like mangled and mottled. Her name is, what's her name? Holly Fry. Dude, Holly Fry, and she lives in my town. She goes to this, what's it called? What's the kind of school that I go to? It's a school where a lot of people go. And it's like a school that welcomes like many different districts. What's that called? It's called a something school, a blank school. Anyways, she started talking about like, for some reason, I didn't even say nothing about Donald Trump. Like all I said is like, he's the worst presidential candidate in American history. And we didn't really get into politics that much, but she just randomly said, Donald Trump's not creepy. Kamala Harris is creepy. I'm like, I literally said, bro, what? Like, what is this brainwashed, thing doing? And the stereotypes, man, she's just a freak. She's a weirdo. And I hate to do that. I hate to say that, but like everybody thinks she's just very berserk. And she is. She's berserk. She's weird. She has this like weird star backpack that she has. It's like this little tiny backpack that can hold like 2 fucking pencils in it. And she supports Trump naturally. She said, because when Brooke Ann said something about like 67% chance for Trump, she said, yay! I'm so happy! She literally screamed in the middle of class because she was so happy that her daddy cult leader won. And this is disturbing. So, whatever you call it, aggression or something is advised. But I'm pretty sure she showed a picture on her, like, and she carries around this like iPod. She doesn't even have a phone. She carries around this like iPod looking thing. It's just so weird. Like these people are weird. When Tim Walz said that these people are weird, they are weirdos. They are different from, what is thought of to be a functioning human being or a specimen on this planet. But she carries around this iPod, and she showed my friend his name's Leland McCarty, if that's relevant to anything. But he showed my friend named Leland this picture on her little tiny iPod of Donald Trump and said, "Look how sexy this thing is." I'm not even joking either. She said, like, "Oh my God, look how hot this thing is." I'm like, girl, like, actually, girl, like, like, I think I want a restraining order against this kid. Like, she's gonna come and like and tickle my back while I sleep or something and say, "Oh, you like that, don't you? You like it? I wish I was doing it to Trump instead." Oh. You know, it's freakish stuff. It's freakish. You know, it's the freaks. The freaks support Trump. But yeah, sorry about the ranting there, but the stereotypes, they're just so accurate. But we need to win this election, dude. Because people like Holly Fry, who has a crush on fucking 78-year-old Donald Trump. Donald Trump's orange makeup wearing ass, you know, who was reported by his own advisors that he actually smells like shit. Like, he has a bad odor to him. And this 16-year-old girl like is a simp over him, over Donald Trump, a 78-year-old man. We cannot let people like this thing, Holly Fry, have their way in this election. If this girl named Holly Fry supporting Donald Trump doesn't deter you from voting for Donald Trump alone, then I don't understand your thought process. If you've seen Holly, dude, how is Trump winning in Wayne County? It's only 0.7%. He's not going to win Wayne County, but like for real. And I guess the election kind of depends on the Palestinian freaks. Like, it really does. And I call them freaks not because I disagree with what they're saying or anything, but Kamala Harris and Biden have been working for a ceasefire. It's like they don't have an impact on what the final say is for a ceasefire and Israel. they like, how are they going to have a say on that? They can't snap their fingers. If they were able to snap their fingers and just unilaterally end this war in Ukraine and Israel and Gaza, they would have done it already with Ukraine and Gaza and the civilians being killed. But this is the thing I don't understand. Boycotting Kamala Harris and either supporting Donald Trump or not voting at all if you're Palestinian how can you do that? Like, Donald Trump is anti-Palestinian. Kamala Harris is pro-Israel, but also pro-Palestinian. If you vote for Trump, he's like extra pro-Israel, quote unquote pro-Israel, and like he has hatred for Palestinians. And you're gonna sit this election out and let someone like Donald Trump win, and don't even talk to me about voting for Jill Stein. Oh, I vote my conscience by voting for Jill Stein. Congratulations, you just voted for Donald Trump by voting for Jill Stein. That's how we lost in 2016, by the way. And that was factually shown. The polling drawn to Donald Trump, the margin of error, the margin of victory that Donald Trump won by in the states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin was less than the Green Party vote. And if they would have had ranked choice voting established in those states, their second pick after Jill Stein would have been Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton would have won the Electoral College on top of the popular vote, which she did in fact win by 3 million votes, by the way. But I'm gonna get a drink of my vanilla Dr. Root beer. That's what it's called, not Dr. Pepper. My dad's working polling, by the way. Yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't know. Why am I surprised? God. This country's doomed either way. Like, I mean, even if Trump, like, I'm hoping to God he doesn't win. But if he if he loses, he's still gonna get millions of votes. He already has 35 million votes. 35 of these motherfuckers voted for him as of now, and that's only 23% of the vote counted. Even if Kamala Harris wins, which I hope like hell she does, this is so devastating and embarrassing and just intimidating. And just overall humiliating for our country that so many people can support Donald Trump. Donald Trump being on the ballot merely being on the ballot is so embarrassing across the world. We have a twice impeached candidate, 4-time indicted candidate, found liable for sexual assault. He sent COVID test to Vladimir Putin when everybody was scrambling for them during COVID, including my family. People were dying from it. He was sending COVID test to Russia to help his people instead of his own people. I mean, how low can you go? And this is his character. This is not even touching based on his policies, like 20% tariffs. Like that's going to raise, I think they averaged it out, and it's going to be like a net addition of like $6,000 or $4,000 a year on the average American taxpayer. People are going to pay more in taxes if Donald Trump gets elected. And it's not even like just a little bit more. It's a lot more a year. This is money that we already don't have. And this affects my family too. This is money that people are already struggling with and falling short from. But Kamala Harris, on the other hand, she wants to ban price gouging, which has worked in states where price gouging, there's already price gouging ban laws in place. It has worked, and we've seen success in those states. She wants a federal ban on price gouging. She wants to raise the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000, so businesses can organize and get set up, and they can actually embark on their ambitions and their dreams that they've had to start their small business. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000 like it has been. Kamala Harris has a plan, and you just listen to her talk, and you can look at her record as California Attorney General. She won what, $20 billion for homeowners that were being ripped off by housing companies and stuff like that. And they were buying out homes in mass numbers, in droves. They were buying out these homes to jack up the prices. And she won a reimbursement for the homeowners. I mean, you just look at her record, and you can tell that she's transparent, and she cares about the American people and improving the lives of the American people. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, not everybody in California is Democrat, but she delivered for everybody. As a prosecutor, she helped imprison dangerous sex offenders, sex traffickers. And talk about the border. When Donald Trump killed the bipartisan border bill, he tanked it by deterring Republicans from voting for it in the Senate because, there's an issue that I can't run on anymore because it'll be fixed. Well, and Biden ordered, he overhauled it, I think, and did some executive action, and border apprehensions went up and border crossings went down since then. But just imagine what we could have had accomplished when Republicans proposed the bill. I think it was a senator from the state of Oklahoma, which, by the way, Kamala Harris is leading in Oklahoma County. That's pretty big, as of now, at least. But anyways, the senator from Oklahoma, I forget his name, but he proposed the bipartisan border legislation, and Trump struck it down. Trump struck it down because he knew it would be an issue that would be solved and that would be tackled in order to try and alleviate the problem and the flow of fentanyl and drugs and other, what's it called, the substances that people have been distributing, and it's ravaged communities across my state and many states across the country. And she's a border state attorney general as well. But if you're still in line, if you're in the state of, Nevada or Arizona or any of these other states, stay in line and please vote for Kamala. Please vote for Kamala. Like, literally, just you don't even have to vote Democrat ever again. Like, just vote for the best candidate, man. And even if you don't like both candidates, vote for the one who is clearly better than the other. There's no better response. Oh, hi, Dylan. Oh, what's up? Oh, he's probably still not watching, is he? Dang. I just checked. But my Halloween was pretty good. I didn't really do anything, but my favorite senator is Mace Wadu. Okay, so he has won North Carolina. No, he has not won North Carolina. He is currently leading in the state of North Carolina. In the precincts reporting right now, he is currently has the advantage. How am I doing right now? I'm pretty stressed. I think we're gonna get through this though, hopefully. But I think I'm actually being so lenient on another Trump term. Like, it's going to be so much worse than many people think it's going to be. And a lot of people already know it's going to be bad if Trump gets elected again. Because he's not going to have the people to constrain him and hold him back from his impulses that he has, in his policy decision making. He wants to pull us out from NATO. And if it weren't for John Bolton, which was one of Donald Trump's closest advisors in his administration, if it weren't for him alone, Donald Trump would have withdrew the United States from NATO. And when we can't have that, we're on our own, and all of our allies are all alone. If we abandon NATO like that, these are our allies. These are people that we need in time of onslaught or war, an outbreak worldwide. But Jesus Christ, I'm praying. I'm really praying. Like, I'm seriously about to cry. It's like, how is it so close? How is it close? I knew it was going to be close, though, so I don't know what else I expected. Take a look at Georgia. Well, it's not looking too good in Georgia for us right now. Oh, we got this, though. 99% of the vote. Kamala wins. I think it'd be better if we compared this in retrospect and actually took the results from 2020 and see how much better Kamala did in some of these areas and see if she improved on Biden's margin. Because I know in Rockdale County, sorry, not Rockwell, Rockwell, this county, she improved clearly on Biden's margin of victory. I like the New York Times, election stuff. I don't know about them in general, but all right. God damn it. Never mind. I fucking hate the New York Times. They always want me to pay for their stupid shit. I wasn't thinking of the New York Times. I was thinking of somebody else, I think. Yeah. And Rockdale County, Georgia. Biden won the county by 69.9%. So that's almost 70% on the dot. And Trump got 29% of the vote. Okay, let's see right now. Okay, go back to the results. Yeah, this is what a 6-point shift, 6.7% shift towards Kamala Harris. These are small but subtle and very forecasting indications of who will win the state of Georgia. It's gonna depend on areas. These areas are very dependable in order to win. Same, yeah, with the surrounding counties, the Atlanta metropolitan area. Okay. Well, it turns out none of these other counties have quite a bit. Let's see here. only 23%. Let's look at Liberty County. So Kamala's winning there by 17%. Liberty County. Oh, she's falling short there, unfortunately, from Biden's victory. Yep, she's falling short. I'm not saying we're going to win this election. I mean, it's true that we can. It's possible that we can't win this election. I don't know how it's possible, but it is. It really is. There's Burke County. This county voted for Hillary in 2016, but flipped to Donald Trump in 2020. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in this election. I'm pretty sure it'll stay for Trump, but right now it's actually, it's looking quite propitious for us. But it's really early again. Very, very, very early. Let's go back to the Senate. Let's go back to the governor. Oh, Mark Robinson was already defeated by 11 points. Jesus Christ. The guy who said he was a black Nazi and bragged about being a black Nazi on a porn website. He said he'd rather have Hitler than that shit in Washington right now, is what he said. He deserved to lose bad. And he did. He lost already. That's not good for his campaign, for his sake. That's good for the country. That's a good win for us. But look at this, like Cabarrus County, all these, dude, look at these counties right here. These are counties that, like, Obama didn't even win in 2008. The two-faced Kelly Ayotte looks like she's going to win, though, unfortunately. But that's just because she was a former senator and she was somewhat popular. They're trying to compensate for not voting for him the first time, so they're voting for her this time. Let's see here. Sanders was elected. Bernie Sanders. That's good news. Why did I keep going to Minnesota? Minnesota's not even counted the votes yet. Let's see. Oh, Osborne still holds a lead. He still holds a lead. If we cross our balls and pray to the moon, he might win. He might. Very real possibility. And Ruby Red, Nebraska. I don't even know why I keep looking at that. It's over for Brown. How does he lose? How does Sherrod Brown lose? Can you believe that Sherrod Brown loses this election? What's this by? Was that 6 points? Almost 6 points of a loss? Jesus Christ, man. Like, actually. Oh my gosh. He's in the lead here. He's in the lead, guys. In Pennsylvania. How do you guys vote for him? How do you guys do it? I need to know the secret. Trump's leading now in Wisconsin. Is this going to be 2016 again? Is this actually going to be 2016? How? How can it be? How? We're not going to win Iowa. Oh. Virginia. We're going to win Virginia, okay? We're going to win Virginia. So Virginia's in the bag for us, hopefully. Well, probably. Maine, at least 3 of the electoral votes are going to go for us. 4 electoral votes in New Hampshire. Michigan, Michigan's looking really close. It's only 16% of the vote in, and there's 15 at stake on the line in Michigan. But a Trafalgar Group poll, which is a conservative, really, it's a Republican-sponsored poll, had Donald Trump winning by only 1% in the latest poll, in the latest Trafalgar Group poll. So that's partially why I am, somewhat optimistic about winning the state of Pennsylvania. Currently, we are outperforming Biden in Allegheny County. It depends on the margins in these urban areas, too. Depends on how many of these fucking idiot Palestine people don't show up. Like, I don't understand how these Palestinians, like, even if you support Gaza and everything, you need to vote for Kamala Harris. Like, she's the one trying to get a peace deal, but Donald Trump, didn't he just like sabotage a peace negotiation with Benjamin Netanyahu because of the election? He didn't want her to, earn these voters back. But yeah. It looks like Philadelphia County is shifted to the right a little bit as of now. Dauphin County is looking kind of good, but it's only 20%, or it's only like 30% of the vote. Northampton voted for Trump in 2016, but flipped to Biden very narrowly in 2020. Hopefully it stays for Kamala. Oh, we got back Pennsylvania. Whoa, doggy! I really shouldn't have done that, because it might bite me in the ass in like 39 seconds. But we're back in Pennsylvania. We're still up in Michigan, and we're still down. We're now down still in Wisconsin somehow. Tammy Baldwin's up. But Kamala's down. Make sense of that. Make any sense of that. Like, how? I'd be damned if Ashland voted for Trump. I wouldn't. God dang it. Pennsylvania, what the hell are you doing? Like, wake the hell up. Like, really. Okay. So Mahonen's, Trump's winning. Lorraine. We're winning in Montgomery, which voted for Biden by like two points or something like that in 2020, but voted for Donald Trump in 2016. Let's see if we're improving on the margin in Columbus. Okay, Biden got 64% of the vote. I'm not on the tab right now, so I can't see. And Trump got 64, 33. So we're improving in Franklin a little bit as of now, but only 70% of the vote is in. And we're kind of keeping the same margin in Delaware. We're not going to win Portage, so... And my stupid county hasn't been counted yet, naturally. Let's look at Hamilton. 61 to 36. Okay, so Biden got 57% of the vote here in 2020, and Trump got 41. Yeah, this is a pretty big shift towards Kamala, actually. But again, only 60% of the votes are counted. Cuyahoga, 70%. That's a shift towards the left as of now, but So some of these other Republican counties, dude, like, that's almost 80%. Like, Jesus. Okay. 76%. Yep, that's as expected. I knew that these Appalachia areas would definitely shift towards Trump. Kamala only won Athens County by 10 points. 10 points. She won it by 15, or Biden won it by 15 last time. She only wins it by 10. Wow. Of course, my birth county is, for the thing. This guy's actually running for president and doing decent again for the third time. How could people vote for this guy for the third time? He hasn't even delivered on any of his promises in the 2016 election. He didn't revive the coal industry like he said he would. He didn't cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month like he promised he would. Biden did that, actually. He didn't have infrastructure or, anything like that. He kept saying there's going to be infrastructure week and all this stuff. He didn't do anything to invest in infrastructure projects. Companies offshore during his presidency. And let's just admit, he had a failed response to COVID. A failed response to COVID. I mean, his own advisors told him about COVID. The intensity of the virus. But he didn't care. He just called it fake. He went and not to mention, he spent almost a full year. Yeah, 365 days of his 4-year term. A full year of his only 4 years in office playing golf. Yeah, that's right. 4 years he only served. And he spent almost one of all 4 playing golf at his multiple resorts across the country and the world. He was in Norway while people were dying from COVID. This guy's an egregious president, a horrible president, in case you don't know what that word means. Looking good in Colorado. She exceeds President Biden's, victory. I've been predicting that Trump will probably carry Arizona. Kansas is actually unforeseeably close. I didn't think it was going to be this close at 56%. But I figured it would shift towards the left, though. But again, all votes haven't been counted. Only a little over half have. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and see him as the next president. I think I'll literally go outside and shoot myself. I don't want to live anymore. I'm done with all of it. Something's gonna happen. And no, I didn't really mean that, by the way. But something as in I'm done with this country. As soon as I'm 18, I'm gonna try to get a passport. I'm done with it. I'm done with the fucking country, or whatever the hell you call this regime that it's going to be if he wins. It's gonna be bad if he wins too. That's what people don't understand. Oh, it wasn't bad during the first time. He didn't have people to restrain him during the first time. He didn't know what the hell he was doing during the first time. He didn't even think he was going to win the first time. He was prepping, and bracing himself for a loss, a huge loss in the 2016 election. Huge loss. He did not anticipate on being the president of the United States in 2016. But it reminds me of that one South Park episode where the guy who's playing Donald Trump, it's Mr. Garrison. He literally says, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please do not vote for me. I'm a complete jackass. And the crowd goes wild, like, whoa! That's literally this election with Donald Trump. That's literally the Trump campaign. Trump's literally telling us, basically, he does not, essentially, he's literally just verbalizing to us that he has no idea what the hell he's doing, and he's completely incompetent, inept, and incapable of producing any beneficial result for any American. And he, like, explicitly says that, and the crowd just go, woo! Half the country goes, woo! That's who I want as my president. Pieces of shit. I'll tell you, man. I will tell you. And he wasn't a good businessman either. just to you know, trying to kind of quail those accusations of him being a decent businessman. He was a horrible businessman. I mean, hence the reason why he was, you know, given $400 million by his daddy, and then still went bankrupt 4 times. He was sued for racial discrimination. I mean, you name it, sexual assault, running a casino without a casino license, you know, hiring immigrant workers and refusing to pay them. I even think he got convicted or something, or brought up in trial for doing the same thing that Bernie Moreno did, which was steal his workers' overtime fees. Who knows? Like, we lose track of all the shit he does. We're winning in Arizona right now. A good sign. Good sign. I don't think we're going to win Arizona, unfortunately. I think we have a better shot of winning Georgia. And Trump's lead keeps diminishing as more votes are counted. God, I hope he wins. Or hope she wins. I hope she wins so freaking bad. And New Mexico's going to go for Harris, okay? All right, so let's do a possible scenario. Minnesota and Virginia is going to go for Harris too, okay? And Maine. Yeah. Iowa's going to go for Trump. Obviously. I mean, that shouldn't even have to be said at this point. But, yep. He won. Bernie Moreno, he's already the winner. McCormick. How is McCormick winning against Bob Casey? Jim Justice. Dude, Carrie Lake needs to be trounced. Dude, she should not be... She shouldn't even won in the Republican primary, but I'm not surprised she did. I knew she would have. She even said that she wasn't going to run in this election. She said that, and she endorsed, like, a sheriff of, like, some county. What county was it? Was it Pinal County? I think it was Pinal County. But she endorsed, like, the county sheriff or something, and then rescinded her endorsement, and then threw her hat in the ring, or whatever you want to say. Okay, so Tim Kaine is leading against the Hung Chow, Republican-endorsed nut job. But Trump is leading in Virginia. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, when Kamala was winning in Ohio, which she was winning in Ohio for quite some time, why don't we just say stop the count? You know, like, stop the count, you know? Does that sound familiar? Sound familiar? Kind of like what Trump did at the debate, being a smart ass with, you know, Kamala, saying sound familiar. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Stop the count when Kamala was in the lead, so we can just, you know, mark this off as Kamala state. We should have done that, by the way. We should have done that. And for the people who are double standard and say, oh, you can't do that because this is a democracy. All the Trump supporters saying that. But what do you try to do? Oh, nothing. Just incite a coup against the Capitol building and literally shit on, like, feces, you know, defecate on Nancy Pelosi's desk. I didn't do nothing about the election besides that. You know, steal things from the Capitol building. You know, destruct property that didn't belong to me. And believe that my cult leader won the election when he did not win the election. Astounds me. I wonder how bad the world's laughing at us. They see Trump's winning and they're like, ah, what the hell? I'm glad I don't live there. But meanwhile, the sane people of this country are in hell right now. It could go both ways still. It's gonna be the urban areas that screws us, if anything. It's gonna be like Philadelphia and Pennsylvania that'll mess us up in Pennsylvania, and it's gonna be Detroit and Michigan. Yeah, still Trump's leading in Detroit and Wayne County, but only not even 1% of the votes counted. So that's a good sign, I guess. Hopefully, Milwaukee. Are we doing decent in Milwaukee for the partisan lean there? 69 to 29. And of course, we're doing worse than Biden did in Milwaukee as of now. It's going to be these urban areas that screw us. That's what it's going to be. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the Gaza people voting against us. That's probably why that Minnesota's going for Trump right now, is because of these people. Yeah, look at that. Look at that shit. It's virtually tied in Hennepin County because people are doing the protest vote. Oh, I'm gonna vote again. I'm gonna vote for Jill Stein. Durr. Even though she's not even on the ballot in half the states. Durr. She's not even getting 2% of the nationwide vote. Durr. Damn. It's noxious. See, Dylan Hacker doesn't even know anything about politics. That's the thing. I'm glad he didn't come over here and start talking Trump 2024 and all this stuff, because I know he used to be a Trump supporter and whatnot. So, hopefully he's not being, facetious on here, mocking me or whatever. But he's a decent kid. He's an alright kid. But did I say? Yeah, I answered that. Are you too busy to respond? I was too busy to respond. I am currently not too busy to respond because I am kind of, waffling back and forth between these pages. But let's look at the house. I haven't even bothered to look at that. Let's see here. Look how close this is. Marcy Kaptur might even lose re-election. She just won by 13 points in the midterms. But of course, they're going to have higher turnout there. And the Trump vote's pretty, it succeeded the previous Trump vote from the last two elections so far. So that vote is mostly going to her opponent, which is a Trump-endorsed maniac like all of the rest of them. It'd be different if they actually at least distance themselves from Trump instead of just running on Donald Trump. Voted against my opponent as anti-Donald Trump. That's good thing that it's anti-Donald Trump. What is there not to be anti-Donald Trump about that's so fucking good? What has he done in his presidency that's good, man? Tax breaks for the rich while hiking costs for us. I mean, the Muslim travel ban, banning people because of their religion. Proposing cuts to Medicare and Social Security. I mean, the old people are going to get, screwed over if Trump wins again, too. Like he did in 2016. I'm going to feel bad for Jimmy Carter, too. That's one of the bad parts. Jimmy Carter waited so long. He held on. He didn't want to live anymore because his wife died. He was attached to her for so long. It was like a cosmic relationship between them two. I think they were married for 70 some years, but she died, and he literally, held on to life and kept living just to make it to vote for Kamala Harris. And if she loses, dude, that's, I don't know. That's just heartbreaking. It really is. But again, I don't know how anybody can vote for Donald Trump. Anybody. It's absurd. Beyond, comprehension. And they don't even know why they like him. I asked this one bitch at my play. She came up and said, did anybody keep track of the elections results so far? And I said something about it being tied. And she's talking about, I knew she supported Trump. I just knew she did. I said, so you actually support Trump? She said, well, I'm against some of his things. But she wouldn't bother to name me one thing that she supports of Donald Trump. And she's just like this morbidly obese 12-year-old, too. God damn. Our country's fucked. Like, regardless, it is. Yep. About right. You know what's funny? I just got out of the shower yesterday and I said, you know what? I wonder how Florida's going to vote. I knew it was going to be Republican, but I was going to be like, you know what? What if Donald Trump wins it? I think he's going to win it by like 14 points. Like not quite a safe margin, which a safe margin, in case you don't know if you're into electoral maps and stuff and politics, a safe margin is 15 points or greater. And a likely margin is between 5 points and 15 points in between those. And I said, you know what? I think he's going to get right in between almost a safe margin, but not quite. And I said something about 14 points. And look at him. 14 points. I don't know how he's winning these people, these Hispanics especially. Like, these Hispanics are voting for him. Like, he literally says, like, he'll say something like, I hate immigrants. And they'll say, he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about the other ones. Like these Latinos for Trump. Oh, he's just excluding me. He's not actually talking to me. He's not actually demeaning me. He's demeaning everybody else that's Latino, but not me. You know, he didn't really mean that. Yet, he speaks his mind and he means what he says. That's what they say. But every time he says something like offensive or incendiary, which is every single second of the day, they say, oh, he didn't mean that. He's just joking. Yet, he speaks his mind and he speaks what he's thinking. Like, it's so contradictory. I don't know. I'm about sick of this shit already. I'm about sick of it. It's not really anything that I didn't expect. The deplorables voting for Trump, and the people who give a damn about our country voting for Harris. That's how it is. Oh, boom, boom, boom. I never bothered to look at Montana. Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's not, you know, the votes haven't even been counted in Nevada and Montana yet. Oh my God, is Dan Osborne still leading in Nebraska? Deb Fischer's going to come back and, you know, retain her majority or lead in this, but at least we can say it's close. I mean, and somehow David McCormick is leading. You know, as much as Pennsylvania means in this election, we can actually win without Pennsylvania. Trump hasn't even campaigned in the last couple days because his, you know, deteriorating mental health. Like, people are voting for JD Vance too. Like, people are voting for JD Vance to be the next president. Like, he was just elected senator 2 years ago, and they're already JD Vance is going to be our president if Donald Trump gets elected tonight or tomorrow or whenever. I'm praying, dude. I'm praying. Can we see the exit polls? Maybe that'll give us a little, you know, innuendo of the results before the actual results come in. Exit polls from 2024. Naturally, it won't show us the, you know, the actual state election exit polls before the votes are tallied. Or it might, who knows. Okay. All right, here we go. There's a piece of shit in my comment, guys. Like, literally, I thought I smelled some feces around here. Bum, 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 bum. I don't like feces. Yeah, feces. Fecal matter. I don't like fecal matter. All right. All right, let's see. So blue is obviously Kamala. Red is for the thing running against her. The unserious, unstable, unchecked individual. Okay, so Tim Kaine has just won re-election. Of course, Josh Hawley has won re-election.
Bedtime.
Oh. It is?
Are you doing like farting in your room or something?
No, why?
It always smells like shit when I first walk in here.
It's probably because that fucking Corky in here.
And then don't have the dogs in here, but eat shitting in your room. And they ain't gonna stay.
I don't smell nothing. Sorry about my frenzied dad, my friends. But I'm about to get to bed. It really is kind of getting late. People who approve of Josh Shapiro handling his job, 58% approve. 58% approve of Josh Shapiro, yet Donald Trump's leading right now. In the last month. Before that. So people in the last month, which is only 13% of voters, lean towards Harris. I don't know. Overall, it's looking like Harris has the advantage so far. Senator. So 2% of Kamala voters voted for David McCormick, and 4% of Casey voters. Wait, no. Yeah. 4% of Casey voters voted for Trump. So that means there's going to be probably about if you take this, that's a 2% difference, and you take that, that's another 2% difference. There's probably going to be a 4% difference between the presidential race and the Senate race. I'm pretty sure Bob Casey's going to win the Senate race, at least. But if he wins by over 4 points, if Bob Casey wins, I'm telling you right this now, if Bob Casey wins the United States Senate race in the state of Pennsylvania by over 4 points, then you can predict Kamala Harris to win the state of Pennsylvania by at least 0.0%, 0.01%. Okay. So most people believe that Kamala Harris's views aren't too extreme, while also believing that Trump's are too extreme. Yet some of these people are actually voting for him, because if this were the case, based on who they'd vote for, then Kamala would win by what? What's this? Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so this is what? This is like 9% if people went based off of this alone, the views too extreme. So a lot of these people are saying Trump's views are too extreme, yet they fucking vote for him. Like, what? And they favor him more, despite saying that he's more extreme than her. Like, it makes no sense. None. If you're more extreme, you're the worst fucking candidate. All right, I'm going to go downstairs and get ready for bed and whatnot. I might be back.